Okay, with me, I have Melanie C. It feels so weird to even say that. Like, it feels... I have been the biggest Spice Girls fan, I guess, since... God, I don't... You know when your memory kind of doesn't actually... You try to think of your earliest memory? Mm-hmm. You and the girls... We're part of that. Like, I can't think of a time before. Gosh. So it's an absolute honour. I am so happy to speak with you, and welcome to the Jermaine plane.
Thank you so much. You know, it's incredible because I get the opportunity to speak to so many lovely people, and so many people were, you know, their lives have really been touched by the Spice Girls, you know, growing up, whether they discovered the Spice Girls or their mum or their sister, or, you know, so it is so lovely. And, and I can imagine, because I have artists who did the same for me, you know, so, but to be an artist who's done that is very special.
Yeah. Who were those artists for you?
So I used to listen to a lot of my mum's music, and then I kind of discovered my own world of music. It was mid-80s, it was Madonna, it was Wham, it was Michael Jackson. It was a great time in music, really. Fantastic videos, you know, people were iconic, proper superstars.
Michael Jackson is one of them for me as well. Like, Michael Jackson and you guys were just a humongous... I mean, the pop world was like at its peak, at its absolute height when you guys, you know, were around. And we'll go back to that. But firstly, I just want to say congratulations on your album, Sweat. Sweat is amazing. I listened to the title track today at the gym, and, you know, there's something about it, because obviously we're broadcasting this from Sydney. There's something about this song that feels like Sydney. I sense a Sydney party vibe. Was there any inspiration behind that at all? Like, because you come to Sydney quite often, right?
I do, and I think the last couple of years I've had so many opportunities to be here. I've DJ'd in lots of different cities around the country, and I love it here. And there's definitely a side to Sydney. I often stay in Bondi while I'm here, which is like this fitness mecca, you know. It's like my spiritual home. And this album, really, I have lent into that whole world of fitness, fun, clubbing. It's very joyous. I love dance music, been DJing now for 8 years, and I just wanted to combine all of these wonderful things that I'm enjoying, and that's what has really gone towards making this record.
I love it. Oh, I love it so much. My friend Sean, he lives in Perth, and he's one of the biggest Melanie C fans of all time, and he had one question to ask, because I was like, I'm chatting to your favorite person of all time. He wants to know simply, are we in for a treat with Biff, Richard Stannard?
That's controversial. I do have a song. You see, what's happened with this album is it was really productive in my writing sessions. So I have lots of songs that aren't on the record, but they will be released within the campaign. So there will be some Biff, Richard Stannard, definitely being released at some point.
At some point. Okay, I'll let Sean know about that. Well, I want to take you back to my first ever memory of Melanie C. You created my first ever tantrum. I was a well-behaved boy, and when I saw that Spice Girls themed Polaroid camera, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted in my life.
To have it.
And my parents were like, absolutely not. We can't get you that. And
Did you ever get one?
I didn't. I never got one. So maybe this is my time. Time to go and find one. But like, I just want to know, back then, when was the first moment that you realized, oh my God, like, this is bigger than anything we could have ever dreamed of?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's so wild, because when we first got together, we were so ambitious and we were so determined to succeed. We had really big ideas, and probably bigger than we should have had at that time. But I think because we were so single-minded in making that happen, that was a big reason why it happened. You know, we knew what we wanted, and I suppose we didn't allow ourselves to have any element of doubt that we weren't going to succeed. But when Wannabe was released, and in the UK charts, the midweek chart was at number 6. It landed at number 3 the first week. And then the second week, we'd already flown to Japan to start promo for the album.
Yeah.
And the single went to number 1 over there. And we were in Japan for a couple of weeks. We missed a couple of Top of the Pops. When we came back, everybody knew the Spice Girls. It was almost like that trip to Japan was the last of us knowing life as we knew it. We came back and it was like, wow, it's happening.
Wow, it's like you came back to like a new planet.
Absolutely.
Right? And I don't think it changed ever since.
You're right. It hasn't changed ever since, and it's so crazy. Like, and I know this happens a lot all over the world, but obviously I'm in the UK mostly, and a day doesn't go by where one of the Spice Girls or the Spice Girls as a band isn't mentioned, whether it's on the radio or in the media or in a TV show, and it's just the impact. Even 30 years later, it's incredible.
Yeah. Wow, it's honestly one of the biggest phenomenons in the world. You know, I was kind of thinking back. It was like when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I realized when I was 12 and 15 and 21 and 30. The best pleasures that I had when it comes to feeling sad, feeling happy, I would always go to the Spice World movie, right? Yeah. It's one of I think it's like the most prized thing that a lot of us millennials have, and I think a lot of us have a connection with that movie a lot. I just realized that is a mammoth film, and there are so many different distinct scenes. Spice Force 5, Mr. Steps, the Spice Mums, just everything like that. How did a movie like that fit into the schedule of the Spice Girls at the time?
It's mind-blowing to think about all the things we achieved in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
So, Wannabe was released in July 96, and by the spring of 98, we'd released 2 albums, we'd shot and released a movie, and we were on tour. And I mean, we very rarely had time off. We were literally all over the world, constantly working 7 days a week. And when you're young, you're resilient, you can get through it, but it isn't sustainable. But it was such a magical ride, and we were surpassing our wildest dreams. It was like living in a fairy tale.
Yeah, I want to talk about the moment then you went solo, because I'm someone who right now in my current stage in life, I am understanding myself a lot more, kind of going through this era of personal growth and spirituality and connecting with yourself and things like that. I think the reason why I connected with you so much as you went into solo is just the way you presented yourself, especially in the Northern Star era, was that it looks like you found this real holistic, full version of yourself, and you presented that to us through, I Turn to You, which I still think is one of the best love songs you can send to a friend, because it's doesn't feel romantic, but there is love in there, and your essence and everything like that felt so whole. When was the time you discovered yourself and realized this is who I am to go solo?
I think when I was writing Northern Star, it was a really important time for me, because obviously I'd had this incredible time with the Spice Girls, and we were still together at this point. We were kind of on a little bit of a break. Okay. 2 of the girls were having children, and I went off to LA to write and record this album. And it was the first time I'd been in the studio on my own with songwriters, and it was just so liberating, and I was able to express myself as an individual. And as part of the Spice Girls, I love everything we made, but that was our inspiration collectively, so to be able to do it on your own, I was like, I really like how this feels, and I was quite surprised at how much I had to say, and it was a really productive time. It was really easy making that record because it was just flowing. It was just waiting to be written, and it did feel really authentic to me. I was like a kid in a candy shop, because I just had the opportunity, obviously coming out of a band like about the Spice Girls, with having so much success, you get your pick of people you can work with. You know, I worked with Rick Knowles, who'd literally just worked on Ray of Light, which is my favourite Madonna song, and William Orbit, who also the same, he produced that album. And then producers like Rick Rubin, you know, who's just a legend. You know, he's produced every artist from Johnny Cash. My goodness,
he's a creative genius.
Yeah, he comes from the rap world, and he's absolutely insanely talented and so respected. And these people wanted to work with me. So, like, as a little Spice Girl from the UK, it was mind blowing, and it was a really, really special time for me. And I think, it's kind of a shame because I took a little bit personally. I took a little bit of a detour. I didn't allow myself time to recover from the crazy days of the Spice Girls, like the Spice Mania times, and I kind of suffered for that. I needed a little bit of time to kind of get myself back together, and then it was hard to get back, you know, into that frame of mind. So but you know, life chucks so many things at you, doesn't it? And it's been the thing that's always inspired me. Just whatever you're experiencing in life really gives you the fire to carry on.
What gave you the fire this time around with Sweat?
Oh, you know what it is? It's such a wonderful time. I think since I started DJing, like 8 years ago, I've just had so much more fun in my life. I travel so much. If I'm not performing with my band, I'm DJing, and I've been coming here to Australia. You know, I've met a gorgeous Australian who I'm very happy with. We've been together for 2.5 years.
Beautiful.
And it's just like, my life is joyous, and I just wanted to get that on a record, you know, and I really feel like I've achieved that, and I hope this is an era that doesn't end. I'm enjoying this chapter very much.
It sounds to me like you found the nirvana of where you're meant to be. A lot of international artists say the same thing about Australia when they come here or they meet in Australia, and it's almost like it's kind of this mountain that they've finally reached that peak. And you know, I feel that with this album. I feel that with Sweat. It just feels like letting go and just releasing.
You know what it is as well? It's like when I rediscovered going out clubbing, DJing, all that beautiful music that I'd kind of left behind in my late teens, I just remembered the euphoria and that inclusivity, which was always so important to the Spice Girls. It's so prevalent in the dance world. You know, it was the first time that so many cultures and communities came together and socialized together. You know, before that, people have been kept apart, and house music was really responsible for that. And I feel so akin with that, and it's just it's a world I want to inhabit, because life is hard, right? We have so many challenges, there's so much bad stuff going on out there, and we all live for these moments of letting go, you know, and we deserve it. And that's what music is for me. That's what performances are, what clubbing is, a night out with your mates, you know. So I feel really lucky that I can be there for somebody's soundtrack to those moments. I keep thinking of my friend Sean every single time you talk about this, because he is just like, he's a DJ, and that's the same essence, right? That's our job. Like me behind the mic, you doing your work. We just want to bring freedom, entertainment, celebration, joy, and be who you are. Like express that. That's the thing.
I think in this time, the world right now, we're being so pressured to not be ourselves. You know, like as in, or there it feels like there is a deserved punishment for wanting to be ourselves right now, and people like you are just allowing us to let go of that.
You know, and in ourselves. And I just think, because of the challenges that so many of us face, I think that we just, the most defiant thing we can do is be wholly and truly ourselves. That's the best 2 fingers up to all of it.
I love that.
And we do it with a smile.
We do it with a smile, absolutely. With a smile and just nodding to the beat. I love it so much. I got to say, you know, someone who I really wish was here with us, experiencing this kind of new world of music, and you know, the idea of letting yourself go and being truly yourself, I think is one of my biggest inspirations that you worked with, Left Eye. And you know, Never Be the Same Again. It was such an amazing tune. I really want to know what your relationship with her was like, and working on this amazing song with her.
It was the opportunity to work with her. It was a kind of, such a pinch me moment. With the Spice Girls, we started like back early 90s, and there wasn't that many girl bands around, but TLC was a band that we looked up to. And, obviously they had their individuality, crazy, sexy, cool. And they were the band. Obviously, stylistically, musically, we're very, very different, but we just love them. And for then a Spice Girl and one of TLC to work together, it was a dream. And that song, it was so funny because I was writing the song with a guy called Rhett Lawrence, and we were getting to the middle eight, and I was like, I'd love to have like a Lisa Left Eye style rap, because she had such a rhythm to her rapping that was so unique to her. And she's my favourite rapper, and he knew her, got in touch, and the next thing I know, she's in the studio, and he was just like, what's going on? And it was such a great song and such a great rap, and it just worked so beautifully within the lyric of the song. And it was my first UK number one. It changed everything for me. It really, in the UK, because I think the album went in about number 4, and being a Spice Girl, anything less than number 1 just isn't good enough. So the old tall poppy syndrome had kicked in. But then once that song with Lisa came out, it just, the UK started taking me seriously, and the record really started to fly, and that album became the success that it was because of that song. So I have so much gratitude, and she was taken from us so before her time. She was so full of energy and inspiration, and she was so talented. She was like this ball of energy. I loved being in her company because it was just electrifying when you were with her. We shot the video together in Malibu in California, and we learned our little Tai Chi moves, and it was just a dream from beginning to end. And I miss her, and I miss her music, and I miss what she would have gone on to produce as well.
I think the world would be even more colourful with someone like Left Eye still in here with us. I think she had a lot more to say. Which
absolutely. She was very special.
So special. I want to go back to what you said about the tall poppy syndrome. As a Spice Girl, number 1, everything becoming huge. Surely every star, every artist, right, has to understand, that the pressure of always trying to maintain at the top is just not sustainable. When did that moment happen for you?
It was tough. I was probably going out as a solo artist because, everything the Spice Girls did was a success at the time. And my first album was a huge success, but you do get used to having number 1 records and selling millions of albums, and it's crazy now. The industry's changed so much. It's such an adjustment, and no one can stay at the top of the game. Okay, you get certain artists, whether it's Beyonce, Coldplay, Adele, these artists who are just way up there. Harry's up there right now, and it's incredible. But for most artists, I think, especially going from a very successful pop band to becoming a solo artist, it's a really hard transition, and you have to really make peace with that. And I think I'm at the point now where I realize I'm so lucky to be here still making the music that I love, to have a new string to my bow with DJing. And I'm just really, really grateful. But it is a transition. It is quite hard to get your head around those changes.
I'm hearing from so many people that gratitude is that key, is that moment of going, look at this gift that I have. Look at the fans that I have. Look at the love that I have. I got a really interesting quote that was given to me because as someone in radio, it's very hard to know who listens to your stuff, who, everything like that. And someone said to me, you're not the love you receive, you're the love you give. And that's beautiful. That really stuck with me.
Something that's changed for me being a performer, and I love this change. When I started, I was very selfish as a performer because it made me feel so good. It was all about me. And then just over time, I started realizing how beautiful that connection was with your audience and how much joy you get from that. And I'm just really grateful that I've recognized that now, because that is so powerful, and it really is what it's all about. Because, we were talking about our differences, we should celebrate those differences for sure, but we have so many similarities as well, because we're human, right? We all need the same things. We all want the same things. We have the same vulnerabilities. And so it's celebrating celebrating who we are in our uniqueness, but also just connecting with those similarities.
Celebrating differences in unity, I think, is so important. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have the same wants, needs, desires, and we just want to be loved.
Yeah,
right?
Totally. And you know, we're getting a very, very gently political in a very positive way.
That's the goal. Oh, I love it so much. Hey, you're going on tour, which is so exciting. So you're coming to Australia in November, the Melanie C World Tour. Firstly, I just want to know what's going to make this tour different or new compared to the other times that you visited around the world?
Well, it's funny because I've never toured Australia as an artist. I've toured as a DJ, and this album I do want to approach my life differently, because it's such an up album. It's so positive, it's so joyous, but of course, not ever touring Australia before, I want to bring you the hits. I want to bring you some Spice Girls. So it's going to be a really fun show. It's going to be very energetic, and I'm just so excited to do it. I literally cannot believe I haven't had this opportunity before. So I'm gonna make it an incredible show for everyone to enjoy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Melanie, I think that you're firstly, I was going to say, it still feels so weird that I'm chatting to you right now, but I think that Sweat is just such a celebration. It's such an amazing album. Anyone who hasn't listened to the album needs to give it a true listen, a true dance. And I also think that your message and your presence in this world encourages us to celebrate life more. I see that.
Do you know what? Life is too short. I'm at the age now where it's like, you know what? We've got to enjoy this little ride we're on.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah. One last question that I have for you, Melanie, is I want to take you back to, let's go back to the first take of Spice World, the movie, right? The movie that we all love. Knowing what you know now, the experiences that you've gone through as a solo artist, also with your relationship with the girls, and where you are with this new album about to go on tour, what would you say to the Melanie C about to do that first take on the Spice World set?
Oh my goodness. I would say soak it all up. That it was such an incredible experience because we worked with such amazing actors, someone like Richard E. Grant, and they were all so generous and so helpful to us because we'd never done anything like that. So I would say soak it all up and buckle in, because there's a big old ride to come, and I'd say take more holidays.
Take more holidays. Well, on that note, enjoy Australia.
Thank you.
We can't wait to see you back here in November, and thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you. I'll see you all very soon.
I'm so excited.
Yay!